Let her go, boys. Well, I got up early on this Lord's Day with the sun peeking through the curtains. Thought I'd wet a line for a couple good hours and still make the 10 o'clock sermon. But the sky is blue and the breeze is cool and they're biting good not to mention. If I live right now, might make it somehow, but I doubt I could pay attention. I'd rather be on the lake with my mind on God in the middle of His creation, in an old John boat with my zip code rod for some private conversation. There might be a few people talking bad about me when they see that I'm a missing, but I'd rather be on the lake with my mind on God than in church with my mind on fishing. Well, I like that.
I'm gonna paint a flat shad here. Excuse this mess, it looks like Philo's butt. But we're gonna try to paint one here. See how it turns out. Okay, I've got to put some stripes on the side of it. That's the first thing I've got to do. I make these little things out of paper. You can just make them out of anything. I just cut them out of paper is all I do. So we've got to paint the back of it. Change paint. First I've got to get some water in this thing to rinse my gun out in. It's kind of a mess up here, but oh well, it works. Now I've got to clean this gun. Gonna get all the yellow paint out of it, or you'll have tricolors on your plug when you go to spray. We're going to start with a little black. We're going to make a face on this thing, or try to. Well, that worked real good. Edit that part out, Brandon. Stuck them all in my hands. That bottle is about had it. Okay. want to spray back on your form here. Spray the edges of it. And that gives you that look right there on the plug. And we'll do the other side. That's what gives us a face on it. And we'll come across the top there. And so it's flat in here. That's where his eyes will sit. Okay, now that we've got that, we'll change paints again. Main thing is keep your brush good and clean. Make sure this airbrush is clean at all times while you're painting, so you get a constant flow of paint, which will turn out better on the plug. Now we're going to put a little bit of blue. Paint's just all the crap. And we're not going to put much, just a little bit down here, the bottom. It gives it that look right there on the thing. Okay, we've got just a couple more colors to spray on it, and we'll about be done with this thing. I'm going to have to go back to black. Okay. See if I can get a little bit of black out of here. That would be plenty. Okay. Now we've got to lay this net. That's what I make my scale pattern out of. Down its back right there, just lightly. Just a little bit down the edge of the side there. A little bit down this side. bit of heat. That's right. That gives us our scale pattern down the back of the. Now we've got just a couple more things to put on there, and we'll about be done with it. We're going to spray just a little bit of crimson red.
I'd rather be on a lake with my mind on God in the middle of His creation, in an old John boat with my zip code rod for some private conversation. There might be a few people talking bad about me when they see that I'm a missing, but I'd rather be on the lake with my mind on God than in church with my mind on fishing. Well, I like that preacher and I love how it feels when he really gets to throwing down, but I'd rather do my talking with the man upstairs when there's nobody else around. If I was there right now, I'd be thinking about which lure I was gonna cast.
I've got to adjust my line here. Just a little red under the slit right there, and that's all we put on it. Now all we've got left to do is just put some eyes on it, and we'll be done with
Let me
it.
catch the bottom of it right there.
Okay. The way I do my eyes, let's take a small amount of yellow paint. This is just a paintbrush that I've sanded off flat. I just dip it lightly into it. That's how I put the eyes on it. One part of them. There's a two-part to these eyes. Then you take a little bit of the black and the same process, but I just got the other end of the paintbrush because it's smaller. And that's how I make the eyes on the plug. And that plug is finished, all except for the final coat that goes on it. And I use a two-part epoxy coat on it, 2500 psi, which makes the plug real durable. And that's about it. I'll take all this tape off. That's what they look like when they're done, all except for the finished coat on there. When I put the finished coat on there, it'll be a lot shinier, a lot prettier. Put the hooks on it, go catch fish.
I doubt I could pay attention. I'd rather be on the lake with my mind on God in the middle of His creation. In an old John boat with my Zipco rod for some private conversation. There might be a few